Hey everyone, William Coxwell here, and this is my third update on my Star Trek Code Geass fanfic Independence. Now, the good news is I finished watching Star Trek the original series, Star Trek the animated series, and Star Trek New Voyages, aka Phase 2, months ago. And I got the first Star Trek the original series, Star Trek the animated series, and Enterprise on torrents. That way I don't have to search the entire internet for them. And I'll be getting the rest of the Star Trek series on torrents as well. And I already got the Star Trek movies on DVD, so that's not a problem. Here is what the problem is. Ever since Mega Upload got shut down by that half-assed move by the FBI, streaming sites basically been shutting down because they fear that they might be next on the FBI's list. I am frustrated because of that, because of the selfish action of what they are doing. And it is the reason why my story is getting constantly delayed. If you remember in my Chris Dodd video where I accused the MPAA of bribing the FBI, well, it turned out it may be half right. According to an article by CNET, the MPAA have been putting pressure on the FBI to investigate Kim.com and Mega Upload for years before the actual arrest happened. And you might have also remembered the White House petition I mentioned to you. Well, you may have already heard about this by now, but surprisingly enough, they did respond. And they said no comment. Well, that's not actually much surprise. But they said actually that due to similar petitions they had, that they said that they must specify a law enforcement agency. Well, that's obvious. Eric Holder of the FBI. Hey, Barry! Hey Barry, this is... I'm sorry. Hey, Eric, this is Barry. Could you investigate a former senator for possibly admitting possible bribes? I mean, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Dodd threatened to kill Obama's family. He seems to think that he owns most of Hollywood anyway, and he doesn't think that anyone else's opinions matters anyway. I mean, hell, Will Wheaton even called him an asshole. That's kind of what happens when you put in a politician as the head of the MPAA. You want more information on them? Look up his file on Wikipedia. Before this whole bullshit with Mega Upload was starting, I was in the middle of watching shows for my fanfic, and I just finished watching a very good anime called Death Note. The purpose of me doing this is to see which shows are crossing over with my fanfic. Now, you all know why I've done this, since I've explained it to you in my fanfic, but I can't do any of that if I don't have any footage to watch. No footage means no show, and no show, which means no fanfic, which means that nobody will find out what happens in the next chapter. I'm saying this directly to those of you who work for a company such as Toei, Sunrise, NBC, CBS, ABC, Disney, any one of those. I find it very unlikely that you're listening right now, but in the event that you do, instead of removing stuff from YouTube, why don't you read my message and actually help me with a story for once? How about why don't you comprehend that for once in your life? I mean, President Obama, he talks about innovation, yet there are bills such as ACTA that could potentially make fanfics an endangered species. Here's a story. I'm an autistic kid who was in a program that actually pays people and helps them with disabilities. But then our gracious governor cut off funding for the program, which of course led me to be laid off for a second time. So now I'm out of a job, and for the past few jobs that I've applied for have either not called me back or said that they're not hiring. The point is that everyone is having a difficult time due to the state of the country right now, and everyone has pretty much seen my work, basically. I mean, you know my link on fanfiction.net, it's there on my profile, and my YouTube singing videos and my trailers. So instead of supporting this bullshit, Why don't you be a little bit of help, for God's sakes? And that's pretty much all that I have to say. Please make your comments Please make your comments known to me, please. I'm sure they'll be very much enlightening. Thank you.